The man looked at the $5 left in his wallet, then glanced at the continuously climbing taxi meter. Suddenly, he had a bold idea. When the taxi stopped at an intersection, he quickly opened the door and bolted. However, in his rush, he forgot to grab the expensive medical equipment from his company. This device was worth enough to cover his family's living expenses for an entire month. He immediately rushed back to the taxi to retrieve the equipment, but the driver wasn't about to let him off the hook. Fortunately, Chris was physically strong and quickly outran the driver, escaping into a subway station. He thought he was incredibly lucky to have avoided paying the hefty cab fare. However, when the subway doors closed, his equipment got caught outside. As the train began moving, his valuable device was damaged. Chris felt utterly hopeless. He was already 3 months behind on rent, and his car had been covered with parking tickets while he tried to sell the equipment. He could only watch helplessly as police towed his vehicle away. When he returned home, he discovered his wife had left with their son. He realized he'd been abandoned by the entire world. Walking aimlessly through the streets in despair, a brand new sports car suddenly pulled up in front of him. When the owner stepped out, Chris curiously asked about his profession. After the man replied that he was a stockbroker, Chris dejectedly assumed you'd need a college degree for such work. To his surprise, the owner said the job didn't require a degree, you just needed to be good with people. Seeing this man's wealthy lifestyle and the gleaming office buildings around them, Chris was instantly inspired to become a stockbroker himself. Determined to give his family a prosperous life, he went to a company for an interview. To look more presentable before the interview, he handed his equipment to a woman singing on the street, gave her $1, and asked her to watch it for him. She readily agreed. Chris confidently walked into the company, but while he was in the middle of his interview, he suddenly realized that the woman had run off with his equipment.